Hello class. We're about to start Chapter 3, Section 3.1, Graphing Linear Equations in Two Variables. Our first objective is to plot ordered pairs in the rectangular coordinate system. Now it asks us to fill in the following chart with the appropriate labels. Okay, I took the liberty of filling in some of these labels in order to expedite time. The first thing is, we have here, this is considered to be the y-axis. This vertical line is where all of your y values would be, and it's called, therefore it's called the y-axis. This horizontal line here is called the x-axis. This has all of your x values. Now, where the y-axis and x-axis meet is called the origin. Now, we're going to get into what is called quadrants. All of the values that do not touch the y-axis or the x-axis in this region here is considered to be quadrant 1. Quadrant 2 is this region here, and here at the bottom. Quadrant 3 is this region here, and quadrant 4 is this region here. Remember, in your quadrants, they do not hit the x or the y-axis. Now, I want to give you some characteristics of the quadrants. Your ordered pairs, or your x and y values in quadrant 1, are both positive. In quadrant 2, your x value, and just to clarify this, remember your x value always goes first in the ordered pair, and your y value goes second in the ordered pair. Okay, now in quadrant 2, your x value is negative and your y value is positive. Now scrolling down here, quadrant 3, your x value is negative and your y value is negative. Now we come to quadrant 4. Quadrant 4, your x value is positive and your y value is negative. Now, these are all the characteristics of the quadrants. Now we go to the next page here. It says, and blank is a pair of numbers in the form xy. It is an ordered pair. An ordered pair is a pair of numbers in the form xy, where the first number called it'll be x coordinate, denotes the horizontal distance and direction from the origin. The second number called the y coordinate denotes the subsequent distance and direction from the x coordinate. Actually, this here is, yes, that is correct. It is the subsequent distance and direction from the x coordinate. Now let me explain this to you. Whenever you deal with an ordered pair, there are only three things that the x value can do, the x coordinate, and the y value can do. So the x coordinate, and we could write this off to the side, we could say x will either go left, right, or stay. Now all of this is in relation to the origin. It will either go to the left of the origin, to the right of the origin, or it will stay where it's at. Okay, now for the x value to go to the left of the origin, x must be negative. In order for the x value to go to the right of the origin, the x value must be positive. In order for the x to stay, the x value must be 0. Now we will look at the y value. I'm not going to write out will either go, but this also applies to the y. So we'll have the y, and you can write down will either go, and then we will put up down, or stay. Now, again, it will be up, down, or stay. So y will either go up, down, or stay. Now, this is in relation to the x value. After you move your x value, whether it goes left, right, or stay at the origin, then you do your y value, and your y will either go up from wherever your x stopped at, down, or it will stay. Now, for y to go up, it must be positive. For y to go down, it must be negative. And for it to stay, y must be 0. Okay, now we go down here to example 1. Example 1 states, plot the following ordered pairs on the graph below and label each of them. Okay, now we have A, which is 2, 8. So, whenever we plot points, we always start at the origin. This is the origin. Now, our point was 2, 8. So we go here to the origin. X is 2, so that means we move 2 places from the origin to the right because x was positive. And then y is 8. Now, from this 2, we go up 8. We add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we will plot our point. Now, we have 2, 8. Now, they also want us to label our point. I have to make sure that none of these points are really close together, so it will make it easy for me. So if we want to label it, we could put our parenthesis here, 2, 8. That would be our first point. Now we look at B. It says 8, 2. We go back to the origin, and then we go to the right 8 from the origin. Now, from 8 on the x-axis, we have to go up 2 because y is positive 2. So we go 1, 2. So now we label that. It'll be 8, 2. Now, we go to C, which is 4, -2. We go back to the origin. So, what I need to do, I need to go up just a little bit. So we know it's 4, -2. So we start at the origin. X is positive, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4. But this time y is negative, so that means we go down from this x value. We go down to, which is 1, 2. So this would be 4. This would be the ordered pair 4, -2. Okay, now we go to the next ordered pair. We have -1, 3. So again, we go back to the origin. Now, because x is negative, that means we go to the left. So we go to the left 1, which is -3. Which is -1. And then we look at our y value. Our y value is positive 3. So from this -1, we go up 3. We add 1, 2, 3. And we plot our point. And this will give us -1, 3. Okay, now, I'm not going to plot all of, well, I might as well. Let's do E. It says -5, -2. So we go to our origin, and then we go 5 to the left, which will give us -5. And since y is negative, that means we go down, and here we will go down 2. 1, 2, and plot our point. So now we will label this. This will be -5, -2. Now we go to our next point. We have 0, 7. Now remember, we said x goes left, right, or stay. So in this case, x will stay at the origin because it's 0. Now, y is 7. So from the origin, we go up 7, and we plot our point. Okay, so now we have the ordered pair 0, 7. Okay, next we go to G. G, we have order pair 4, 0. So we go to the origin again. We have to move to the right 4 places. And then we look at our Y. Our Y is 0, so we stay here. So our point here will be 4, 0. Now last but not least, we had -1 and -2.5. Now don't let this fraction make you afraid. Let's take a look here. First we go to our x value. We start at our origin. We go to the left 1, which would be -1. Now we have y as a -2.5. So we know -2.5 will end up between the -2 and the -3. So we will plot our point here. And this would be our point. So now we need to label it. It'll be -1 and -2.5. And that is it. Now we scroll down. It says, note, the phrase ordered pair is used because order is important. And the reason why order is important is because we must follow the x value first, then the y value. So that is what makes order important. If we did the y value first, we would have a problem on our hand. So we need to do our ordered pair because order is important. Now we scroll down here to the next page, to our objective 2. It says find coordinates of points in a rectangular coordinate system. Example 2, determine the coordinates of point A, B, and C. Okay, first we're going to travel on the x-axis starting from the origin. Now to get to point A, we move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. So far we know our x is 5. Now from this x value of 5, we go up to this A value. We have 1, 2, 3. We went up 3, so our y value will be +3. Now to get B, we start back at the origin, but this time we're going to the left. We're going to the left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places. So our x value of B is -6. Now we need to find our y value. We have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. And now we have our y value. Okay, class, we need to look at the ordered pair for C. So we start again at the origin. Now we look at our x value. We have to go 2 to the left of the origin, so our x value would be -2. Now from this -2, you notice we have to go down 2, so our y value would be -2. And our ordered pair is -2, -2. Now we scroll down. We have objective 3. It says determine whether an ordered pair is a solution of an equation. Okay, all we're doing here is substituting. We have our x value, we have our y value. So we substitute into this problem here. We will have 5 times 2 minus 2 times -2 equals 6. 5 times 2 is 10. -2 times -2 is +4, and that equals 6. We know 14 does not equal 6, so the answer here would be no. Now we go to this second equation here. This time x is 0. We'll substitute in 0 for x, and y is a -1/2. We will substitute that in. So we have 0 is equal to 1, and then we have a +2 times a -1/2, which will give you a -1. And 0 equals 0, so your answer is yes. Now we go down here to C.